Just in time for the holidays. Close to 150 digital releases, merchandise discounts, supporter-only specials, like some free download codes, perhaps? Even bonus items from the back catalog. This is it. Starting at just $4.99 a month, it's the Swamp Krewe. You will get all of that available to you. Now, bump it up just a little bit. $6.99 per month. You're going to get a limited exclusive CD each and every month with shipping included. And there's a bonus CD when you sign up, and the first month is free. But how do we do that? We have to go to www.theswamprecords.com/doomtomb to get in the Swamp Krewe now. It's all on Bandcamp. Head over there. Check it out for yourself. The deal can't get any better. Do it now. Get in the Swamp Krewe and, well, get dirty. Right out of the Sonoran Desert Doom scene, it is the Doom Tomb Podcast, the podcast for all things stoner, doom, and sludge. My name is Chris. I am your host. Now, we are based out of Arizona. However, maybe I have to move to Colorado because I've been interviewing so many bands from Colorado. There is another band that I have in my back pocket. I'm just waiting for the release. And we're going to Denver today. We're in Colorado Springs most recently. And we'll be back in Colorado in the not-too-distant future. Finally got to talk with this man, Jess Ellis, who I was friends on social media. And, we were passing stuff back and forth. And I'm like, hey, let's get this done. Let's square it away. But full disclosure, so Jess and I are talking back and forth. And I wasn't really thinking about it. So I had all these questions ready. And I'm ready to go. But it was for a different band. And we just kind of winged it, wang chunged it. I don't know. We did something, and we had a great talk. And let's hear that chat right about now. Now here we go again with another band, man, out of Colorado. What is going on in that space? We've got another band member to try and figure this all out. And I guess the easiest way to explain them is it's riffs, it's volume, it's general apathy. Now, there's a few other people. There's Jason, there's Greg, but I am with Jess Ellis. Oh, and can't forget Mark Brooks. I am with Jess Ellis from the band Lost Relics. What's going on, brother?
Not much, man. Just glad to be here. Spread the word about the riffs in Colorado.
Yeah, now let's get into this because, there is another band that I have an appointment to interview out of Colorado Springs, but I've heard the story, Cloudcatcher said it, Denver is heavier. And what is it about that area it's not just that? I mean, you got Green Druid is releasing having a release coming out soon. What's going on in Colorado that brings the doom?
We all wonder that, and it's funny because we all agree most people think Denver is a cow town, with the bands that do the heavy like us, that's all West Coast, East Coast, this, that, and the other. But Denver has a big, big music scene here, and everybody just bypasses us. And so since I've been in this scene since about 1998 playing music, and it's always been the same.
Right.
Everybody is together. There's no scene points. There's no scene politics. And for some reason, everybody here, we do things heavy, but we also do things a little bit different. And I think it's because of that isolation.
And plus the cold weather.
Yeah. That does a lot of it too,
Cold Did it drop by you? I mean, I swear it must have dropped like 30, 35 degrees overnight here in Arizona.
Oh yeah. Well, we had 60 degrees and then we had a foot of snow the next day, which is life here. Unbelievable. Just a harsh environment and isolation. And I think a lot of it is all of us, every band you're talking about and everything, we're all friends.
Right.
Doing this forever. And I think we kind of feed off each other. But what's funny is there's nothing derivative. We all have our own style. And quite honestly, we just don't give a shit about what other bands anywhere else are doing.
Right.
We want, because being isolated, once again, there's no one here to judge us or to think anything about it. We only have our peers. You know, every now and then a band will roll through touring band.
Right.
And we always heard the same thing. You know, it's like, what the hell's going on here? Like, these opening bands are playing with them and they're like, Jesus Christ, I've never heard of these bands, you know?
Right.
And I don't know what's going on. It's just, but I'll tell you what, I'm glad to be here. I'm glad
Absolutely.
you know, because everybody's friends, and we all have a great time, and we support each other. And I mean, you know, got Chemist, Primitive Man, Matriarch, Messiah Vor, Stone. I mean, the list goes on and on. And I don't know what's different about here, but I'm glad to be here.
Someday we'll get to it. Maybe it's something in the water. Maybe it's something that makes, dare I say it, hogback pizza so fucking amazing. Shout out to Dust, brother.
That's right.
So before we get into this, the story about how you got on Coffin and Bolt and stuff, Jess, I've messaged you back and forth on social media. Can you give me a little bit of a background about yourself, about the other band members, and how you got to become Lost Relics?
Sure. So for prior to this, I was in a band called Low Gravity for years, and Jason and Greg, the drummer and bass player in Lost Relics, were in a band called The Worth. And I mean, actually, I've known both of them forever, especially Jason, 20 years or so. And, you know, playing with them forever. Low Gravity went by the wayside. I had a small side project called Smolder and Burn, where Mark, our new guitar player, was the drummer in that band.
Right.
And so Low Gravity dissolved, Smolder and Burn, I kind of stepped aside from that. And then I took about, you know, as anyone does, took about a year off or so. And then the Riffs started coming, and I decided I wanted to start a project. And I decided if I was going to do it, I was going to do it right with people I knew, people who understood where I was coming from. The Worth had broke up during that break for me, and immediately it was a no-brainer for me. I had a rhythm section. I went to Jason and Greg,
right?
Said, hey, I got riffs. Do you guys want to get together and see what happens? And they jumped, and shit, we had that first EP done in about a week. We went with the 3-piece for about almost a year. And the whole time knowing I wanted another guitar player if it was the right fit.
Yes.
So we had a very short list of people. And then Mark became available, and we hit him up. And last December, he jumped in with us. And man, talk about changing the game right there.
Made it fresh.
Yeah. So yeah, basically what it is 4 people that have been playing together for 15, 20 years, and we were finally all available to play in the same project together. And now it's just, you talk about the most natural, fun thing.
Kind of crazy how it's almost like a funnel. You know, everything started out kind of wide, and now it's getting thinner and thinner, more detailed.
Absolutely. You know, you got to what do they call that? Trim the fat.
True that, brother. Yeah. to quote a term from 1984. Okay, so we got to talk about some of the new material, which I haven't heard, I got to be honest with you, but we can go over some of the previous tracks. And if you can, after we go, just tell me how, you know, what's happening in the progression of Lost Relics. I want to go to this 4-track EP. And, well, let me start off first with this artwork. What does the artwork mean to you in regards to the release?
Quite honestly, the artwork was, it really has nothing to do with it. I'll be honest.
Okay.
You know, one of a good friend of mine, a tattoo artist friend, he does a lot of work on a lot of people in town.
Right.
We just needed some art. I sent him the tracks, and we kind of had a loose representation of a feel we wanted. And I assume you're about the Space Viking.
Yes.
Yeah. And that's just kind of what he came back with. And we were like, boom. You know, I mean, our stuff's kind of out there.
Right.
It's not necessarily happy. We're a tongue-in-cheek band to an extent. We're not all depressed, just depression and everything. But so the art was just he just kind of nailed it.
Yeah, it's got almost this like Pusshead kind of quality to it.
Oh, it's total Zorlak skateboards.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you.
All day. Yeah. And that's why I loved it. I mean, we were all like, man, even if it doesn't fit any lyrical content or anything, I mean, it was cool as shit. It took us all back to skating in the 80s, so.
Absolutely, man. Now, let's kick it off because we got a few tracks here. Dead Men Don't Need Silver. What can you tell me about it?
So that one, that one's just, got to choose your words carefully sometimes. That one, obviously the title of that album is from Game of Thrones.
Right.
A couple people have actually captured that, which is obviously good. I was watching Game of Thrones one night and that line came up and I was like, that is a great song title.
Exactly.
And that's just about, don't write checks you can't cash.
Completely, man. Now, okay, so you've seen Game of Thrones.
Oh yeah.
I still haven't gone down that. I don't know. There's something I got about it. Like I really have to give period pieces a chance, and I don't for the most part. I just go right by, like anything that's goofy and silly. I'm all about it. And I like my horror and suspense and stuff, but. Something about period pieces, man. Somebody really has to say, look, no, I'm serious about this. You've got to see it.
Well, that show, I fought it too. Me and my wife, we tried that series. I think it took our third or fourth time to get past like the third episode.
Right.
And then it's like you said, it is silly. It's ridiculous. And I'm with you. Time period pieces can be difficult. And half the time, there was 4 seasons in. I didn't even know what character was what. But there's boobs. There's bloods. There's drinking, there's mayhem. And there is some really good stuff in there.
So it basically is a Lost Relics show.
Pretty much. A lot of regret.
All right, so we're going to move forward to the second track, which is Scars. What can you tell me?
Scars is a pretty personal piece for Jason, our bass player. That's about all I'll say about that. That's just about a lot of physical and mental abuse that sometimes happens to people you don't expect it to happen to.
Really?
It's just about getting through that.
Okay. And what can you tell me about Whip Rag? I love the title, by the way.
Yeah. That was one of my first forays into writing lyrics. Actually, I was always a guitar player. This band's the first time I've ever branched out into singing and writing lyrics.
Right.
And Whip Rag and Face Grass kind of go along the same lines. It's just a lot of scene politics, and not even scene politics, just life in general. People dirting you, running you under the, throwing you under the bus, and just, being a whip rag. How much you can do before you break.
Yeah, it makes total sense. Now, in speaking of that, so you've been in the scene with the other guys in the band for a bit now. So somebody's going to go to your neck of the woods and they need to book some shows for this type of music. Where do you suggest they play?
Pre-COVID?
Yeah, that's
we're going to pretend that's not going on, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. Denver is a very, it's a big city, but for this type of music, there's very few venues. You've got the High Dive,
I was just gonna say the high dive.
Yeah, you got High Dive, Three Kings, which Rip Three Kings, they're done. But luckily, some people from a bigger theater bought them out, and they're going to keep the same feel going to that place.
Cool.
Great. Tennyson's Tap. I feel like I'm missing one. But yeah, there's not much here. Like any town, you know, I mean, any town, like, where'd you say, what part of Arizona are you in?
I'm in Phoenix.
All right, so I don't know Phoenix, but, you know, I know Tucson a little bit and stuff.
Right.
But yeah, every town has, like, for this style of music, has maybe 3, maybe 4 venues.
Exactly, and you know, it's funny, earlier...
And that's where you live.
Yeah, right? I mean, earlier this week, there was a place, it's called the Rebel Lounge, and it's like a 300-plus cap, and, you know, you're going to have likes of The Sword and Fu Manchu, you know, people that might have been around the Desert Rock scene for a while or what have you, or, you know, it's not a 50-cap place. It's a little bit larger. And they just transformed it recently into a coffee bar. I don't know if it's going to change.
300 cap?
Yeah.
Oh, God, welcome to New America, right?
No shit, brother. And you know what? I don't know what the rest of it, you know, one of my favorite spots to go to is Yucca Tap Room in Tempe. And they just purchased...
I've heard of that place, yeah, for sure.
Dude, if you're going to come through here, that's the spot. And they also there was a place called the Green Room in Flagstaff that they just bought and converted to Yucca Tap Room North, or Yucca North, just before all of this went down.
Yeah.
And it's rough, man. I don't know. I you know what? I a friend of mine and myself, my partner, we put on this Planet Mammoth thing, and we were ready to do a halfway to Planet Mammoth and we had next year, we had like pretty much 95% of it booked already. And now, like, we don't know. It was going to be February 2021. We have no idea right now.
No. Well, let's be honest. I mean, when we come out of this, Dust and I from Stone Deaf Hogback, you know, we've been talking about this a lot. I mean, and I know we kind of segued into something here, but when we come out of this, the whole landscape's going to be completely different.
Yeah.
And the only way I can be positive about it is we're going to lose a lot of haunts that we loved and held dearly, you know, and that were our homes. But at the same time, when shit opens back up, there's going to be a void, and people, I mean, there's always going to be people that are going to move in, and there's going to be new venues. And all we can hope is, you know, then there's new places to play. I'm just trying to be positive about it, because we're already seeing, like you said, you know, the Yucca Tap Room and stuff. We saw Three Kings go away. Three Kings killed everybody in this town because we lived there.
Right.
And all I can hope is that when the shit finally gets controlled and we get back to normal, then there's going to be new venues.
Yep.
And God damn it, if every band doesn't come back on firing on all cylinders and ready to play after this, I mean, there should be resurgence and everybody should be ready to go.
I've talked to some places that they said they're booked 5 and 6 deep for what I'm like, just let's take a date. You know, I don't know, November 1st. So November 1st, oh, you want to play? Okay, there's 5 people ahead of you. If those 5 people cancel, then you can get the spot. And I'm like, okay. And you know what? Totally outside the box. And you know, this is just general weirdness, but I was like, the Doom Tomb Room. Boom. I got to do that. I got to, you know, it's like, I got to find some venture capitalists, and I know what I want it to be. And I think that we could, you know, I really feel like there's a resurgence, especially in this genre. And, you know, it's crazy to me because I just saw yesterday or the day before they released, what was it? Was it Billboard Awards? Or American Music Awards? One of those, you know, the top award shows. And there's not a single fucking rock record anywhere in any of it. It's like everybody gave up on it. But you know what? When I go to the shows, even if I go to a place that's a 50 cap or a place that's an 1800 cap, people are still there, and they're still selling tickets. So like, what is the disconnect sometimes with with I don't know, I don't want to say mainstream, but like, why can't we get anything on the fucking charts anymore?
And it is weird because, even just a few years ago, I mean, you had bands like Mastodon and, yeah, granted they were huge compared to, the normal bands, but they were still getting on the charts. But man, I wish I knew. If I knew what was going on, I'd be making $1 billion, buddy.
Yeah. Well, you need a certain amount of BPMs and a certain amount of OOs.
Yeah, well, we all know it's 3 minutes and 30 seconds. The BPM, got to have a certain amount of auto tune. Right. God forbid you play real instruments.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah, I don't know. I think a lot. As much as I love the internet and what it's allowed underground bands to do, I think it's also dumbed down the general population's ear,
right?
In a way, if it doesn't have that instant hook, I mean, I think the average person's attention span went from 3 minutes and 30 seconds to a TikTok clip. Or
1,000% agree.
And with that, how can you get any content across to someone with that?
Okay, dude. So I don't look. We don't need to talk about age, but I think we're both of a certain age. Let's just say that.
Yeah.
And okay, so I go back to the day when fucking an HBO special, an HBO comedy special, not music but comedy, would just destroy, and you had to be in front of the TV or you missed out on the whole thing. And It was an hour long. It didn't matter whether it was, one of the first like Robert Klein or Carlin or Pryor or some of the other comics that had numerous specials, Chris Rock, and they were an hour long. Now I've talked to some comics, and they're saying like, well, we're putting out like 5-minute snippets, and that's even too much. Like just to wet the beak of people until because like we don't even know if they're going to be able to take an hour now.
Well, yeah, and think of all the good, like the artists you just mentioned, half their shit, their setup took 10 minutes, 15 minutes per joke.
Yeah.
So everybody's suffering from that short attention span theater.
Well, that means that like people like Stephen Wright and Mitch Hedberg, rest in peace, they just would crush at those one-liners, and maybe that is the future. I don't know. I like the long story. Like there's a comic that I've seen live before, Jim Jeffries. I love what he does. Favorites. And but by the way, and as soon as I get offline from you, I have to go see where I can re-binge. He did 2 seasons of a show called Legit.
That show was fantastic.
Dude, didn't it? Look, okay. So I know it's a comedy. I know what it's about. I still got feels. Like at the end, of certain episodes, and when he's taking care of DJ Qualls, I forgot the name on the show, but
this is brother, right?
Yeah, the show had so much freaking heart to it, and I was just like, wow. So, and it lasted 2 seasons, and I've seen him live, and he knows what to do. He knows how to work it. I think the accent helps a little bit.
Yeah, sure,
but
he's a great comedian, and again. Half his jokes take, 15, 20 minutes to set up. He's a storyteller.
That's exactly right. You're exactly right. And now I apologize because sometimes like I especially when I see the person in front of me, and thank God for Zoom, I feel like I can have a more natural conversation sometimes.
Sure.
It kind of reminds me of, this sounds crazy, but it kind of reminds me of the old days, like 6 months ago when we used to go to concert venues, and I used to wait, and it's 1:32 in the morning, and now we're doing an interview. It feels kind of like that.
Yeah, hanging out at the back of the venue.
Yeah, except now I don't have somebody asking me for, I don't know, a couple bucks to get some hot dogs at the Circle K.
Get one of those damn Sonoran dogs.
Oh, so good, so good. And this is, we're here. We're in the Sonoran.
Yeah, I'm jealous of those. My dad lives in, I have family down in Tucson, so.
Oh, right on. Have you played there?
No, but we have good friends in King Chiefs.
So you Paul?
Yeah, Paul's definitely good people. Good buddy of ours, and definitely know a lot of people in the Arizona and New Mexico area.
I'm really looking forward to the new King Chiefs release whenever that comes out.
Band's so good. So good.
I
had the pleasure of playing with them in my last band, and they're good damn people. And when Paul was playing with Stone Deaf,
yeah.
You know.
And I think was he doing did he take over drums from Mizoa for a bit?
Dude, I would not be surprised. That dude,
he's everywhere. He does so much.
No, all of a sudden I'm going to see a band in Denver and there's Paul. I mean,
yeah.
And he's just like, "Oh, I'm here." Yeah, the I didn't even know he played drums, and then I saw him playing with Stone Deaf one night. I thought he was a guitar player in King Chiefs, and all of a sudden, and then I found out he played drums for one of my favorite bands back in the day, you know, from Seattle.
Yes.
Yeah, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm a drummer," and I was like, "You're a damn good drummer."
I gotta send you the episode. I was working at this one place, and I asked him to come by. We came by. We had a few beers. We had some pizza, calzone, whatever, and we just bullshitted for hours. And I made it a 2-part interview. I'm gonna have to send you that so you can check it out, and you'll know the history already.
Oh yeah,
but
all that, yeah.
Yeah, he is like truly salt of the earth guy.
Yeah, shout out to Paul Val. He's our shit. We love Paul.
Absolutely, and he I think he had to be. It was in the Mizoa, because it's funny. Like, after some shows, sometimes I would go to this guy Roger's house, and Roger is in a band called Dead Canyon. He used to be in a band Graves at Sea. And,
oh God, I love that band.
Yeah, and he is just another guy, just amazing dude. And he's like, "Come on over to the house, do the interview. We'll hang out." And you never know who's going to be there. You know, whether it's Paul or somebody else or what have you.
Well, hey there, Tommy. What's with the long face? I don't know why I feel the way I do. I'm just not happy, Doc. Like, I don't feel right. Oh, I think you have anxiety, Tommy. You know, I know exactly what you need. I'm going to go ahead and write you a prescription
for a record player and some sweet new records at Glory or Death Records.
That'll get you back on your feet again, and right as rain in no time.
Glory or Death has all the best bands: Moss Generator, Red Wizard, Love Gang, Red Witch Johnny.
They'll get you feeling peachy keen again.
They even have an insane double album tribute to Thin Lizzy featuring High on Fire, Mothership, Duel, Worshipper, and tons more.
Wowee! Oh, that sure is keen.
Side effects may include extreme giddiness, bloodshot eyes, random cravings, forgetfulness, bleeding of the ears, confusion, nausea, constipation, diarrhea, depression, anxiety, alcoholism, ulcers, or death.
Yeah, hey, what's up, big dogs? This is Mucho Drums here to tell you a little bit about my new company, Mucho Printing. Now, I've played in multiple bands for several years, and I know how important it is to leave your mark after any show. Even before hitting that first note, you want the crowd to know who you are and remember who's responsible for the sore necks the next morning. Presentation is an important factor in any band's mission to the top, and that's where we come in. Fully printed backdrops, removable bass drum covers, mesh cab covers, flags. These are just a few products that we can offer to you. We're based out of Los Angeles, California, and can ship anywhere in the United States. More importantly, our goal is to help promote bands off the stage as well. With every order, we'll post pictures of the prints, along with info about the band and any other advertisements you'd like us to include. Please check us out on Instagram and Facebook by searching Mucho Printing. Send us a message for any details. Hope all of you are staying safe, strong, and powerful out there. And remember, you win some, you lose some, but nothing beats getting some. Cheers, my friends.
I could do this all day. Face grass. What can you tell me about face grass?
Face grass is 100% a big finger to all the fake people in any music scene.
Right.
Which is about 95% of the people.
I gotcha.
That's all that song is just, don't piss on my back and tell me it's raining, you know?
Right.
It's just, that song wrote itself. Me and Jason sat down and we needed lyrics, and I made a joke about a non-person in the scene, and next thing we knew, we were just rolling, and then we had so many lyrics, we had to weed it out, so. In about 5 minutes.
You know what, man? Sometimes, even when, as you're telling me this, sometimes it hurts a little, man, because you're like, I thought you had my fucking back.
You know, and you're absolutely right. And I've seen it time and time again. And for anybody that's done it for any period of time, when you first start, you think all these people are your friends, you know, because you're hanging out in the bars every night, you're playing shows together. Everybody thinks you're tight. And then I started seeing it, and I would tell people when they would quit a band or whatever, you know, and get out of the music scene, they'd be like, well, these people will still call me. And I used to tell them, no, they won't. These people don't give a shit about you, not one of them. Because you're not in the bar, you're not in the scene anymore. It's scene politics. Mm-hmm. And I watched this happen time and time again. And it made me very standoffish because these people would hit me up, you know, later and they'd be like, you were right. Not one of these people has ever talked to me again.
Yeah.
So there's definitely, you know, brothers and sisters in the scene that have your back.
Sure.
But just like in real life, most people are arm's length fringe people, you know, and they're face grass. Face grass means scene beard, by the way.
Oh, no shit. Oh, yeah. There you go. Duh. Wow. You might as well just hit me over the head with a sledgehammer on that one.
Yeah. It's all about the scene beard.
But, you know, it's funny. Something like this just happened. It was one of the last episodes that I put out. I thought it would be apropos to do a tribute to a friend that just passed. His name was Josh from the band Wolves of Winter, Josh McGee. And I don't know all the details. I don't even really care right now. But I know he ain't coming back, and I don't have him anywhere. He's not here anymore. That's what upsets me. I don't care about his I don't care about his politics. I don't care about whatever else. I know he was a friend, and he will be missed. So I did this tribute, and I looked back on my Facebook, and I reached out to him a few months ago, and said, you know, because like when this COVID thing started, I thought the worst. I saw the worst everywhere, and I'm like,
yeah,
this ain't great. And I mean, it's still not great, but you know, there's been inroads in the past few months. But I would reach out to people on a monthly, every other month or so, and say, you know, how you doing, dude? What's up? And I'm not asking. I don't want an interview. I don't want nothing. I just want to see how you're doing. How you feeling, man? You okay? You know, if you're depressed, you want to talk. If you got bullshit going on, I'll listen. You know, hopefully maybe you'll listen to me for a few minutes too, because I like to vent. And it's been really helpful, man. And, you know, I like, you know, at the end of a podcast, sometimes, you know, I'll say, you know, buy your band merch and you know, support everything, you know, so we'll get back to those shows. And now I'm at this point where I'm like, you know, hey, call your friends, say, hey, you know, extend a hand, because there are people out there that need it. And, you know, I'm sorry that you went through what you go through, and you know, I've been through some of that myself, but I think it only makes us stronger. And, you know, for yourself, it helps you put out better material and to draw from that inspiration.
Absolutely. Yeah, and I mean, you put it very well. Like I said, I made lifelong friends in this. Like, you know, we were talking about earlier how I met the members in this band now. But it's just basically the face grass thing is just be careful who you let in.
Yeah.
Not everybody has your best interests in mind, and not everybody deserves you and to know you.
Yeah.
We can all be cordial, we can all be friendly, we can all hang out, but I've watched a lot of people waste a lot of time with their heart and time and money on people that didn't give two shits about them.
Right.
So, and that's what face grass is about. So.
All right. So we've went down a few dark paths with these 4 EP tracks here. And now
has more upbeat stuff, I promise.
No, that's okay, man. Dude, it is what it is. Come on. It's in the name of it's doom.
Yeah.
What do you expect? You know, and you know what's funny? I've met some of like these doom bands, sludge
Can I
bands.
stop you there though?
Go.
We don't identify as doom.
Okay.
We really don't. We call ourselves dirt rock. We are Denver dirt rock.
Oh, nice, dude. You got to put on your tags in on Bandcamp. You got to put that down.
Yeah, we do it on all our other stuff, and I need to update that. But we all love doom.
Right.
We've all played doom, but this band, when we started it, we wanted to hit more of an AMREP style, and and people wanted us to, claim a genre. What's your sound? And
Yes.
came to me one day, and I was like, "We're just Denver dirt rock. That's what we are."
You know what? But also, yes, as a and from listening to the music, I can totally identify with that AMRAP ideal.
Yeah, we get
That-
that a lot, and
that
I'm
fits.
totally okay with that.
Yeah, and why shouldn't you be? Please, great artist. So we got this EP. Now we've got the new work. What can you tell me about what's coming up for Lost Relics?
Well, first of all, the new EP, obviously, the first one we were a 3-piece, now we're a 4-piece.
Right.
Completely changed our sound. We honestly finalized probably 80% of this EP during the lockdown.
Right.
A lot of bands just quit playing. We waited 2 months quarantined, and when we felt good, we were lucky enough to have a big enough space to where we could spread out.
Sure.
And we went to work, and in July we recorded this, and it came together really quick. And while we were recording it, Dust hit us up, Dust and Cody from Stone Deaf.
Yep.
And they're like, "Hey, we're getting." They talked about Coffin and Bolt. They were starting Coffin and Bolt, and they kind of told me their business plan, which is along the ethos, everything I think about.
Mm-hmm.
Brothers, all the same, doing the same thing, helping each other out.
Right.
So we jumped on board with that immediately. And then the whole Golden Robot thing came about, a month or two after that.
Mm.
I mean, we had just recorded, we were getting ready to release the EP.
Right.
And the Golden Robot thing happened, and you talk about timing and being in the right place. And, and those guys have the right mindset too with the current culture of how, the music business works. Of course, when you're in a band that plays the music like we do, there's certain labels or companies you want to affiliate with. And then when you look into the realistic nature of what they offer, it's not necessarily the best.
Right.
Us, Golden Robot, what they're doing is perfect for us. We're still allowed to do whatever we want. And they just push it on their end. And anyway, it was just a great timing. So the record's in the can, so to speak. The first single will be coming out November 30th, with the video shortly to follow after that, right, on all platforms.
So what are we looking forward to as maybe a progression of Lost Relics? Because you added a member, so there's fresh blood, there's new life. Is there something different that we're going to be expecting that's different than the EP?
I think you're going to hear the songs are, the word faster isn't necessarily right. I mean, they're probably BPM faster.
Right.
They're just as heavy, but with 2 guitars and picking up the pace just a little bit. The songs are more aggressive. Aggressive would probably be a better way to say it.
Okay.
More aggressive. With 2 guitar players, we're allowed to play off each other, have some fun. That allows me and Jason to do more singing together. Mm-hmm. This EP is much more pissed off. I will say that. It's a lot more hardcore and a lot more aggressive.
Maybe a taste of the lockdown, even.
I definitely, everything in it that we have been told from people that have heard it and our reviews of it, there's definitely a lot of underlying things that we weren't cognizant of when we were writing these songs. And now listening to them, we're like, yeah. And you're right. I mean, it's probably the lockdown, it's political climate, personal struggles.
Yeah.
It's much more hardcore. Yet fun, lots of riffs to shake your ass to. It's we're proud of it. And Felipe at Green Door Recordings did an amazing job with us. We went in there in a weekend and stomped this out, and he was amazing to work with.
That's awesome, dude. I can't wait to hear it, man. As soon as you get something, please send it my way. I want to pass it along. And
oh yeah,
I support. Coffin and Bolt have been really good to me so far, and on top of it, I mean, how can you deny a guy with Ray-Bans and a Flipper T-shirt?
Fucking Dust.
Yes, I'm fucking with the
love
Dust.
that, dude. All those guys are great. I mean, come on, KP. I don't know. Have you seen him play with KP?
Yeah, man. Oh my God, dude. He's so sick, and he says, Dust says to me, he says, because I the first time I interviewed Stone Deaf, it was a completely different lineup, and I didn't want to say anything. I don't want to step on toes, but he came back around. I'm like, what's happening here? Where is everybody? And he gave me the lowdown, and he says, but wait till you see this dude fucking throwing sticks around. And he's just great dude, and a massive asset to Stone Deaf.
Oh, he loved KP. I mean, they were great before KP, but his stage energy, yeah, I mean, a drummer like that, and Paul Val, again, shout out.
Yep.
He has that same kind of energy where you want to watch the drummer.
Yes. And here's the rub.
And he's holding it down.
Exactly. Yeah, he's keeping holding, yes, right in the pocket. And it doesn't matter whether it's yourself or whether it's Paul or whether it's KP or whether it's Dust. The one thing that comes across, especially when I saw the message from Dust about what he's doing with Coffin and Bolt, is passion. I love seeing passion. There's something I have going on in my life right now I can't quite talk about, but all I know is my passion got fucking reignited about 5 hours ago. And it was...
Cheers, brother.
Thank you. I felt it because I have been hurting the past few months. I don't like this situation. I miss my Doom brethren, males, females, whatever. I miss the scene. I miss talking to people. There was somebody that is in a band that is doing another job right now. He came into my neighborhood to do some work, and we locked eyes on each other, and I haven't seen the fucking guy since February.
Yeah.
And I was just overtaken, am I hugging him too long? Is something what? I haven't seen you in forever, brother. How are you? Really, but how the fuck are you? And and he was just jazzed up, and I was too, and it's I didn't know I messed it that much,
we played a show last week. Us and Messiah Vor, who's on Coffin and Bolt also, our brothers and sister, and another local band called Night Wraith. And for all of us, it was the first time playing out since February, probably.
Right.
Like you said, and it was a safe show. We played in a venue, 800 cap limit, but this show is limited to 90 tickets.
Wow.
Everybody could spread out, mask required, blah, blah, blah. They did it right. But the fact that we got to play, and like you said, I was running into people, and number one, it's weird Do you hug?
Yeah.
And the rocks, COVID cares. I don't know. Like you said, it was just so incredibly cathartic in a way
Yes.
to see these people after this long. And granted, it was 10% of what you'd normally see, but man, was it good.
I bet, man. I bet.
After all that time, and to play, it was good.
You know what, Jess? I got to say, man, I want to thank you for this call because this is probably the realest that I've been in a while about this. I'm about to go out of my mind with this thing. And I know, we can get on the phone and we can talk and we can do it Zoom and all that. There's something about that interaction. It's I miss it so much. I really do.
Yeah, I think we all do. Anybody that's into this, even our wives, girlfriends, friends, cousins, when you're into this, like we were talking about the venues that are gone by the wayside.
Yeah.
You think back that how much time you used to spend there. How many weekends did you go every Friday and Saturday night? You were at that bar.
Yeah.
That was your house. That was your home, right?
When somebody puts a message on social media and says, if you don't see Chris's bald head up in the front, was there really a show? I'm like, holy shit, I'm going to way too many shows. But you know what?
A few Chris's here in Denver.
So yeah, it works out perfect. So thank you for going over the EP and telling us what's coming up next. Have you picked out the artwork yet for the new Lost Relics?
Yeah, we have.
Who are you using? Do you know? Who?
Oh man, you son of a bitch. We are using this wonderful artist from Portugal. And on
did I put you on the spot?
Put me on the spot. There it is.
That's okay. We can edit it down.
Yeah. I'll have to hit you up back on that.
That's okay. Hey, how about this? Let's finish out strong. Let's go strong and let's get weird for just a few seconds.
Yeah.
I'm going to ask you a few questions. And they're off the cuff. We didn't talk about it before, and let's get to it right now. First question. What are sayings that you grew up with hearing only to find out that they were unique to your family?
To my family?
Or friends, family and friends.
Oh, man. That's a tough one. Mediocre?
Okay.
I remember saying that at someone else's house, being a child, and the whole family, I said mediocre. They asked if I wanted a small spoon or a large spoon, and I said mediocre was fine because my stepfather used to always say it. And these people all looked at me and they're like, what's mediocre? I was like, it's medium. It's mediocre.
Oh, my God. That is hysterical. Yeah, because I was looking at this question. I'm thinking about it. I'm like, what if if somebody was to put me on the spot, what would I say? And there was something that came across when I was living in New York. Somebody would say to you, look you in the eyes and say, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? Now, the response was, how many? Totally unrelated. Like, I'm down in Florida. I lived down in Florida for a while. And when I said to somebody, what are you going to do? I was like, what am I going to do about what? No. The response is how many. Like, what does that mean? And what it was when you go to these small shops, like a deli or a bakery in New York, you say, what are you going to do? Which meant hello. And the response was,
shit. That's how people talk?
Yeah, the response was, I don't have time for your bullshit. How many? Like, what do you want? And let me go through. So it was, what are you going to do and how many? Okay. Second question. What TV show can you always go back to?
TV show I can always go back to. Man, I love It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Oh, man, you can't beat that.
Office.
British or American?
I love them both. I definitely love them both, but the American went on. Actually, me and my wife are just finishing up for the first time The Office, the American series. We never quite finished it. And man, do we wish we'd have stopped a while ago.
Oh, did it go downhill?
Oh man, it's not a downhill, it's a cliff. Sure. But yeah, those I always come back to. I've been getting into Rust Development lately, which I could see coming back to a lot.
Another killer show, never got its due. And you hear like Ron Howard's got his hands in it, and Bateman and Timbre. There's so
Bateman's
many.
fantastic.
Oh, but I mean, Tobias Funk, hands down, is my favorite character.
Yeah, David Cross is amazing.
Okay, I just got a few more here for you. Next question. What is one thing that every high school senior should know?
Wow.
I know, right? It catches you, huh?
Yeah, that's a good one. What is it? One thing a high school senior should know. Those choices you're making now actually do matter.
Right on. Thank you for that. Okay. And that kind of ties into, maybe I'll put this as a part B of that question, is what's the best piece of advice you've ever heard?
Best piece of advice I've ever heard, and one I still tell people, is you're not the same person at 18 as you will be at 25.
Lord, ain't that the truth, man. And at 25...
That's when most people make a huge plethora of mistakes.
At 25?
No, between there and 18.
Oh, between there, yeah. Well, you're figuring it out. You're trying to figure out, the idea is you finish high school, you go to college, you try to start a career, you try to figure out what you're going to do, and that's hard as fuck. Honestly, when I hit 25, the best part about hitting 25 was my insurance went down for my car.
That's it. That was the last thing you had to look forward to.
Yeah, that was my crowning achievement, my crown jewel. Okay, So I got two more for you. This one, actually, I was asking my wife this last night, and she got kind of stumped by it. What is your favorite obscure random fact?
That's so broad.
I'll give you mine. How about that? While you're thinking about it. I went to school with Flo from Progressive.
Oh,
and she doesn't look like that in person.
Really?
Yeah. Thank you. Stick that in your pipe and smoke it.
Oh, man. Obscure fact that I know.
Yep.
Oh, man. Never been put on the spot like this.
You want me to come back?
Yeah.
All right. This is the last one. Suddenly, okay, because I just saw this movie, and this is one of those movies where I gotta keep watching it, and it was Back to the Future. So the question is, suddenly you wake up in the 1950s, what's the first thing you do?
In the 1950s?
Yes, sir.
Go bet on sports facts that I know they're going to happen.
Oh my God! That's the one thing where I wish I followed sports.
I don't. That's the funny thing. I don't know shit, so I'd be fucked. But I would. That's what I wish I could do.
All right on. Now, okay. Do you know of a random obscure fact, sir?
I know that this. Oh, you're not on video.
No, well, okay. Go ahead. I'll try to figure.
I know that this is the sign language sign for stapler.
Okay. It's so fun. This is so funny that you mentioned that, because there is this one sign that I love to do, with friends and family and etc. I don't. Do you know a lot of sign language or?
That's it.
Okay, I'm going to show you a new one. All right? You ready for this? Get ready, because this is exciting.
Ready.
And it's just like that.
And what does that mean?
I got to take a shit.
That's for reals, the legit
Yeah.
sign.
Oh, dude, yeah, it's exactly it. So, like when I was at this other job, we would put our fists together and go like this, like, what's
Right.
up? Like, gotta go. Eventually, everything comes around to shit. I don't know why. It just does. So, Jess, brother, thank you so much for joining us. Now, tell us, number one, how to reach you on social media and the interwebs and all that fun stuff. And remind me again of when your latest release from Lost Relics is going to come out.
So you can find us on Bandcamp, lostrelics.bandcamp.com.
Absolutely.
Instagram, we're Lost Relics 303, all that. Same with Facebook. The new EP will be coming out in early spring. The first single will be coming out on November 30th with the video to follow after that. And we'll probably have another single coming out in maybe January or February.
Right on, brother. Thanks so much, Jess. Coffin and Bolt Records, man, they've been really knocking it out of the park. They have so many releases that are almost ready to go with either Lost Relics or Messiah Vor or Mazoa or King Chiefs or Stone Deaf and so many others down the line. I tell you what, let's hear a track. Jess sent this over to me really recently, and this is what I've been waiting for so I could put this episode out. Let's hear the track. This is Unrealistic Cause. Before we get into the end of the show, quick thing. So we have the holidays upon us, so I just want to let everybody know I've got a Big Cartel page. I think it's high time I put it into the show notes. So what do we have over there? It's not much, but we got some stuff. We have some Doom Tomb koozies, multicolored koozies, and on one side it has a funny, hilarious-looking saying, and on the other side it's a multicolored print of a Doom Tomb logo, which you will absolutely love. We also have a few dugouts left. If you're not sure what a dugout is, Google it, and then you'll figure out that the answer is yes, you do need one. So you can pick that up in the Big Cartel page, and we have some leftover merchandise. We have some posters, we have some flags, we have some t-shirts, some of the larger sizes, so I don't know, either put them in hot water, use them as a tent, whatever. We got the big sizes left, and maybe a small amount of the smaller ones. That's a lesson learned. Order your mediums and larges and extra larges, and the rest are kind of like just order less of those. We'll learn that for the next time. But there's a Big Cartel page for that, and we also have some flags, and the flags were done by Mucho Printing. They look stunning with a Steven Yoyada illustration, and I think we might even have one of the original Planet Mammoth flags left. I got to check that out. Either way, link is in the show notes. Check it out, and buy something, man. Stocking stuffers, you know what I'm saying? Get it for your friend, or, you know, you could just look extra classy with your own koozie. I mean, that's always a thing. Now, thank yous. Ian from No Masters Audio. Brother, you know I can't do this without you. I so much appreciate you editing each and every podcast. doomtombpodcast.com is how to listen to new and archived episodes. Across social media, it's Doom Tomb Podcast. We're putting up some more Reels videos up there on Instagram, so check those out and like those if you get the chance. doomtombpodcast@gmail.com is how to reach us for an interview, a review, a submission, whatever you got. And finally, don't forget craniumradio.com, 6 to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time each and every Sunday. It's all the music you know and love, and some definitely different stuff that I look, it's my show. I'm going to put on what I want. I have a fun time with it, and I put on all kinds of stuff. Now, I got to admit, like I said in the last episode, the chat room was a little wonky. That was fixed, and now it's very simple. Just get in the chat room, sign up, listen in. You got a request? Make it. If I got it, I play it. That's how it works. Don't forget, for everything Lost Relics and everything else, the links are in the show notes. And a big, big thank you goes out to the Swamp Records for helping me out, and Glory or Death Records as well, and finally, Mucho Printing. Thanks, everybody. This is the holiday season, and we know we want to see our loved ones. Sometimes with all the situations that are going on, we can't exactly do that, so just virtual hugs. You know what I'm saying? I'm doing it right now, and we'll get there soon enough. Until that time, stay healthy, stay happy, support your bands, reach out to your friends, and don't forget to stay heavy.